And Pledge of Allegiance. Hello, everyone.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone, thank you for coming tonight. Mayor Lee is under the weather, and so I will be running the meeting tonight. So, hey, it's a first. Hey, glad to be here, y'all. Okay. Item 2 is the adoption of the meeting agenda.
Make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
No, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is passed. 4 to 0. Thank you. Whew. 4 to 0. And so now I don't need to call on Mr. Hamp regarding this? Okay. Okay, so item 3 is matters from the vice mayor, and I don't have anything tonight. And so we're going to move on to item number 4.
Yeah, I don't have anything this evening either.
No.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5 is a consideration of the consent agenda.
Yeah, Madam Vice Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to the meeting minutes of the City Council budget work session under the line, I'm trying to find it now, I'm going to race to it. The first line where it states the city manager recommended real estate tax rate be advertised at 92 cents per hundred. It was actually advertised at 89 cents per 100.
Okay,
That's all the changes I have.
great. Is there a motion to adopt the amendment?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. That's 4 to 0, pass.
And then we'll have the consent agenda.
We have to make a motion for the consent agenda.
Okay, so item 5 is the consideration of the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And, excuse me, is there any discussion on it? No, thank you so much. And so we pass with 4 to 0.
Correct.
Thank you. Item 6 is to present a proclamation recognizing the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Animal Control Officers Week in the city of Waynesboro. I'd like to call on Mr. Hamp at this time.
Yes, ma'am. This evening we have Chief Shaw and our Animal Control Officer Jennifer Anderson present to receive that proclamation and make remarks during regarding animal control services in the department, very briefly. So.
Thank you so much, and to the animal control officers, thank you so much for coming out this evening, and Mr. Wood is going to read those proclamations.
All right, I'm reading this on behalf of Mayor Kenny Lee and Vice Mayor Comby. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association has designated the second week of April each year as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. And whereas the Waynesboro Animal Control Officer is dedicated to helping pets and people in the Waynesboro community every day. And whereas various federal, state, and local government officials throughout the country take this time to recognize, thank, and commend all animal control officers for the dedicated services they provide to the citizens, public safety, and public service agencies across the nation. And whereas every day the Waynesboro Animal Control Officer puts herself in potentially dangerous situations by protecting people from dangerous animals and seeks justice in cases of abused, neglected, and abandoned animals by conducting humane investigations and protecting the welfare of helpless animals and pets from injury, disease, and starvation. And whereas the Waynesboro Animal Control Officer provides the essential functions of enforcing laws pertaining to animal care while educating the public on the proper care of our community's pets. And whereas the City of Waynesboro recognizes our Animal Control Officer for the many dedicated and long hours of service she performs in providing the highest and most efficient level of customer service to the residents of our community. And now, therefore, I, Kenny Lee, Mayor, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Waynesboro, do hereby proclaim April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week in Waynesboro, and encourage all citizens to join us in expressing their sincere appreciation for the service and dedication of our animal control officer. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Waynesboro to be affixed this 14th day of April. Will be signed by Vice Mayor Lori Jean Akambi, Vice Mayor, City of Waynesboro.
Great. And do we present that to
Yes.
Ms. Wilson at this point? Thank you. Great. Okay, thank you. Does anyone else? Yeah, does anyone want? Okay, great.
Gotcha.
Okay. I just had a few paragraphs to address. I'm honored to stand before you to accept this proclamation recognizing Animal Control Officer Appreciation Week. As the sole animal control officer for the city of Waynesboro, I'm truly humbled by this recognition. Over the past year, we've responded to more than 1,300 calls of service, many involving complex hoarding and seizure cases, animal cruelty investigations, and dangerous or vicious dog incidents. Each call is different, and every one of them carries the same goal, ensuring the safety and well-being of both our animals and our citizens. While I may be the only ACO in our city, I'm never alone in this work. I'm incredibly grateful for the ongoing support of the citizens of Waynesboro, the police department, and my direct supervisors, who always have my back and understand the importance of what we do. Animal control is so much more than catching stray dogs. We advocate for the voiceless, intervene in cases of neglect and abuse, and work every day to protect the public. It's a unique role that bridges compassion and enforcement, and I'm proud to serve in that. Thank you for this recognition. It truly means a lot, not just to me, but to every animal control officer working hard across the country. Thank you,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
And can I say, this says Officer Jennifer Wilson, and you're Officer Anderson?
Anderson, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, great, thank you. Item 7 is to consider presenting a proclamation recognizing the week of April 13th through the 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the city of Waynesboro. Mr. Hamp?
I think Mr. Kreiser is here to receive the proclamation.
Okay, so, Mr. Wood, can you read off that proclamation?
All right. Again, reading for our mayor and vice mayor. Whereas across the nation in times of intense personal crisis and community-wide disasters, the first access point for those seeking all types of emergency assistance and homeland security information is the 911 Center. And whereas the Waynesboro Department of Emergency Management Emergency Communications Center staff receives these calls and have emerged as the first and single point of contact for persons seeking immediate emergency assistance and are expected to multitask under stressful emergency conditions with compassion, accuracy, and professionalism throughout the year. And whereas this week, celebrated annually, honors the thousands of men and women who respond to emergency calls, dispatch emergency professionals and equipment, and render life-saving assistance to the citizens, residents, and visitors of Waynesboro and throughout the country. Now, therefore, I, Kenneth B. Lee, Sr., Mayor, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Waynesboro, do hereby proclaim April 13th through 19th, 2025 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week here in Waynesboro, and encourage all citizens to join us in expressing their sincere appreciation for the service and dedication of our members of the Waynesboro Department of Emergency Management and Emergency Communications Center. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Waynesboro to be affixed this 14th day of April, 2025. Lori Jean Akambi, Vice Mayor, City of Waynesboro.
All right. Mr. Kreitzer?
So much. Just very brief. Vice Mayor Comby, members of council, thank you so much for recognizing our dedicated 911 professionals. They do tremendously difficult work day in and day out. They're often revered as the unsung hero behind the scenes that is not seen, that's not part of the lights and siren response, but makes such a significant contribution to the city and to our citizens. They handled over 38,000 dispatched incidents this last year. In Virginia, just a statistic, in 2024, there were 4.3 million 911 calls in Virginia, and Waynesboro participated in about 38,000 of those. So, again, thank you so much for your support of our dedicated staff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, are we still moving on to this number 8, or this is the one? Okay, so, Mr. Hamp?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so item 8 is to receive a presentation on the recommended 2026 enterprise fund budgets.
So hold on one second, please. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let's proceed to the public hearings, and then we'll move Mr. McCormick's presentation to before the citizen comment period.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So item number 9 is to hold a public hearing on the lowered tax rate for the 2025 reassessment of real property.
And I'll take this one.
Okay,
So the city assessor's office has completed the 2025 general reassessment for the city. The Code of Virginia requires that all properties within a locality be assessed at 100% of their fair market value. The total assessed value of all real property, excluding new construction, as of the date of the advertisement of the effective tax increase, is an increase of 13.5% over 2024. As required by Section 58.1-3321 of the Code of Virginia, and because the reassessment would result in an increase of 1% or more in the total real property tax levied, City Council must conduct a public hearing at which it receives public comment concerning the effective tax rate increase. The lowered tax rate, which would levy the same amount of real estate tax as last year, is 69 cents per $100 of assessed value. This public hearing is in addition to the public hearing on the proposed budget and tax rate ordinances. The same state code section provision specifically dictates the contents of the notice of the public hearing to be published and requires that, among other details, the notice state the lower tax rate to offset the effect of the increased assessment. The proposed property tax rate is 89 cents per $100 of assessed value. The assessment increase does not impact all property owners equally. Property owners should look at their reassessment notice to determine the impact on their property. The attached notice was prepared to fulfill all of the statutory requirements and was published in the News Virginian on Wednesday, April 25th. No action is required this evening. Following the public hearing, council will adopt the tax rate for the current year in the coming months. Again, after a public hearing specifically on the budget and the proposed tax rate. So that's all of the remarks that I have, and we can move directly to the public hearing.
okay. I hereby open the public hearing. Staff will call on speakers.
Yes, ma'am. Archie Bryant.
Madam Vice Mayor.
Good evening, Mr. Bryant.
Good evening.
I want you to make a note of the stop light up here.
Yes.
You have 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes. It'll flash green, and then at 30 seconds, it'll flash yellow, giving you a warning, and then once it gets on red, then if you would please stop.
All right, should
Thank
take
you so
one
much.
second.
State your name and address.
Thank y'all.
Okay, please state your name and address.
Archie Bryant, 263 Elizabeth Avenue, Ward C.
Okay, thank you.
My wife and I have been a resident of the city since 1999. And over the past 7 years, our tax rate has gone up substantially. In fact, we've done nothing to our home besides the regular maintenance, upkeep, a roof, normal things that need to be done to a home, but our tax rate's gone up. According to the paper we got in the mail, if that's included in it, it's right at 100% over the past 7 years. That's a lot. I mean, we worked hard to get our house paid for. We worked hard to get it paid for early enough to where we could enjoy it in our older years. I mean, not old, but you know what I mean. And seeing the rate go up and up and up and not seeing much benefit from that as far as we can see. I mean, I know the city's growing. There's businesses coming, housing coming, so that's going to be revenue. And I don't think it's fair for us to have to keep paying more when there's more coming in. I mean, I understand that there's a budget and things cost money, but now it's to the point where it's costing my wife and I about $150 a month rent, so to speak, just to pay our real estate taxes on our house that's paid for. And it's just kind of frustrating to see, that it just increases substantially each time it goes up. It started off in 2015 with like a 1% increase. Last time was 33. I mean, it's disheartening to see, you work hard to pay for something and you keep having to pay more and more and more just to stay in your own home. And I just want to voice my concern about that, and I hope I'm not the only one. So, but that's really all I have. I just want to see the city council be a little patient and let the revenue coming in from the new businesses and new developments and all that to kind of help us out as taxpayers too, to where we're all in this, together. So that's all I had. So
Thank you, Mr.
appreciate
Bryant.
your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheila Lilly.
Good evening, Ms. Lilly.
My name is Sheila Lilly. I live at 649 Walnut Avenue. I echo the feelings of Mr. Bryant as well. My husband and I are landlords here as well. We own several properties in Waynesboro. And I know a topic of conversation a lot of the time at City Council is affordable housing. And when the tax rates go up and the assessments go up, then we have to pass that on to our tenants. And that reduces the amount of affordable housing in Waynesboro. We're like he said, we're getting lots of businesses here. There's constant building going on. We've got a lot of income coming into this community that we did not have before. So in my thinking, we should be reducing the tax rate to the equalization rate of 69 cents instead of raising it, because we're already getting more tax money in from all of the new businesses and the new construction, the new homes that are being built. So why are we as citizens being asked to bear the burden of extra taxes when when we have extra money coming in anyway? That's what I had to say.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Lilly.
Ashley Burnett.
Good evening, Ms. Burnett.
I have never done this before. This is the first time being here, so that should tell y'all something.
So can you state your name and address, and then did you get the spiel regarding how the lights work?
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's Ashley Burnett, and I'm in Ward A. And I've lived in the city of Waynesboro for about 20-some years now, married to my husband. My thing was the tax rate thing, because when I was looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, because, we already pay enough, double in water with the sewages and stuff like that. The city's always higher than the county and stuff, so, we know that. But I just want to see if we could maybe meet in the middle, because I have a family of 5 at home. And raising them up like that, it'll be, right now it's 139 that went up. Next year it'll be 319 or more added on to what we already pay. So I'm kind of like, can we make some kind of deal with y'all doing the new housing and stuff like that? Maybe make it to where it's somewhat suitable and not so high, because that is asking a lot out of us. that's triple what my house is worth. And we have to put a roof on, remolish our bathroom, and put flooring down and windows this year. And so my husband is cashing his 401k in to do that. So we don't want to have to pay a whole lot of extra onto something. We kind of would like to see it kind of reduce some. But that's all I had to say. But I just wanted y'all to know, with me coming out and not ever talking to y'all before, never going to a meeting before, I always just sit back. And for once, this is something I thought was more concerning. This is our, a lot. But thank you.
Thank you for coming out, Ms.
Thank you.
Burnett. Thank you.
Jacob Lipscomb.
Mr. Lipscomb, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing all right.
Good.
Can you state your name and address, and did you get the spiel regarding the lights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
Jacob Lipscomb, 1628 Monroe Street, Ward D. I was born here in Waynesboro Hospital. I went to all of Waynesboro Public Schools, and I still continue to live here. And just to piggyback on the other folks that have gone and before me, the tax increase is astronomical if we can't level this thing out. I grew up on Grayson Avenue, just above North Park. Majority of minority neighborhood growing up, and I worry about those folks because every single one of them growing up, they own their own homes. And, as personal property to me is theft. You never truly own anything, right? God forbid, these folks back here, they got their house paid for, God bless them, but if for some reason they can't make this tax payment, their house will be gone. So we really need to work on a resolution to levy out this tax so that people can stay in their homes, and especially in the minority neighborhoods where I know some of the folks that I grew up with will never be able to do this. And if the plan for the city is to move these folks out and put these these new homes in all of these neighborhoods, if that's the way the city's going, then everything that RISE and some of these other organizations in the community have worked on has been for nothing. So I really ask y'all to look at that. I know that as far as government goes, it's never lowering, it's always going up. The budget's always rising, it's always spending more money. So I really ask you guys as councilmen and women to work on a resolution in the next couple of weeks to levy this thing out. You got concerned folks here that are worried about the livelihood of their homes and their neighbors. We as a small community have to look out for each other. So, I feel bad for all these folks that are here that are really concerned about the livelihood of their homes and maybe not being able to stay in it or not. But truly take the time to look at the income revenue that's coming in with all the new businesses and all the new homes. I understand that there's going to be some repercussions from that, but people are flooding here for a reason. This is a great place to live. It always has been. So let's make sure that we keep it that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Lipscomb.
William Kelly.
Good evening, Mr. Kelly. Can you state your name and your address, and did you get the
Yes.
message about the lights?
Yes, I did. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
My name is William A. Kelly III. My wife and I live at 209 Oak Ridge Drive in Waynesboro. I probably could maybe bring a different perspective. A lot of the people here have been longtime residents in Waynesboro. My wife and I have not. We moved here in 2021 after serving overseas for 5 years supporting U.S. troops in Europe. And I transferred back here to a location in Charlottesville to work, and I had lots of choices as to where I could have lived. I could have lived in Louisa, I could have lived in Ruckersville, I could have lived in many, many other places. I could have been in Fishersville. I didn't. I came here because it drew us here. We like this city. We like the people. We have really enjoyed it. Jim, meeting some very nice people in very nice surroundings. As I leave my work life and retire, I'm retiring here. This is where I'm going to live the rest of my life. I'd hate to think that I made a mistake, because the incline in the taxes have just been, I have a mortgage, unlike a lot of retired people, and it's going to make our lives less and less livable as that happens. As it was just stated, government doesn't give back typically. It just keeps taking. So this is a terrible trend. And as you bring Northrop Grumman into this area, they also will be looking at tax rates. Think about that. They could live anywhere. They could commute in from just about anywhere around here. And that is not an appeal when they start to compare tax rates. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Danny Ledford.
Hey, good evening,
Danny
Mr.
Ledford, 545 South Wayne Avenue. I'm coming here to talk to you about the tax rate. 89 cents. Equalization rate, 69 cents. You know, government has an opportunity to show people that they mean business and they want to take care of them. But when the money grab continues year after year, I'm just appalled that we have to sit and talk about this when we're talking about a 20 cents differential. You know, equalization went down, the ask goes up. And it's public knowledge, one of the council members mentioned $1.06, which is completely out of whack as far as I'm concerned. A government large enough to give you everything is also large enough to take it all away from you. And when I sit here and I think about the money that I make, the money that I earn daily to take care of my family, and I'm asked to give it to a government or a city in which year after year I watch wasteful spending. We overspent on the registrar's building. So if you want my money, I want all of you to go home tonight and I want you to think about your own finances and how you utilize your money and how you save your money, because you got to prove to me that you're worthy to take my money and use it wisely. And if you can't answer that, you need to keep that rate low. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ledford.
That's it.
That is it? Okay. I hereby close the public hearing. No action is requested this evening. Item 10 is to hold a public hearing and consider a resolution authorizing proceedings to condemn a 2.601 acre portion of a parcel of land, tax map number 24-1-17A, owned by Holtman Land Company, LC, and located at 0 White Bridge Road in Waynesboro, Virginia. I'd like to call on Melissa at this time.
So I'm going to grab this one as well, Vice Mayor Comby. So the city previously constructed a stormwater management facility on this property after recording a certificate of take for the parcel. During the subsequent condemnation proceedings, the city moved to amend the certificate of take to return a portion of that parcel that was ultimately not used for the newly constructed facility. The property owner opposed the motion, and the certificate of take was invalidated. This resolution authorizes a condemnation proceedings to require the 2.601 acre portion of the parcel that encompasses the stormwater management facility. The city obtained an appraisal for the portion of the parcel that yielded a fair market price of $21,000 and offered payment in that amount to the property owner. The property owner has rejected the city's offer, and negotiations have been unsuccessful. This resolution requires a public hearing prior to the adoption. Now, I would like to note, and this is very important, this evening, council is asked to hold the public hearing, but suspend consideration of the resolution pending some additional negotiations that have been scheduled.
Okay.
Ask for a motion to table.
And I would ask for a motion to table.
So are there any questions regarding the matter?
Has anyone signed up to speak?
Wait.
Okay.
So no one has signed up to speak. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
so
missed the
still,
hint
I
there,
gotta,
you know.
I hereby open the public hearing.
No one signed up to speak.
I hereby close the public hearing.
Madam Vice Mayor, I move to table action on this item pending additional information from the city attorney.
I second that motion.
Okay, so, is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that is a 4-0 outcome, okay? And now, we're going back to item number 8? Okay. Item 8 is to receive a presentation on the recommended 2026 Enterprise Fund budgets. So I'd like to call on Mr. Cameron McCormick, our Assistant City Manager for Finance.
Thank you, and good evening, Madam Vice Mayor, members of council. So, as you'll recall, at your work session for the city manager's recommended budget, council spent a lot of time discussing the general fund. As part of that recommended budget, there were enterprise funds in those, so we wanted to spend just a couple of minutes this evening going back through those, making sure that council understood where the recommendation was. And then also this slideshow will look very familiar from your second council work session. I'm only going to spend time updating things that have changed as kind of the revenue forecast came better into focus. So, and I'll hit at the bottom of these, there is a summary slide for all the rate recommendations at the end, but I'll hit at the end of each one of these what the rate recommendation is. So in the water fund, the main things that we're experiencing right now is the needs for the upgraded Shenandoah Village Drive pump station. The estimated value on that's going to be about $8 million, and it'll require a borrowing in the spring of 2026. Last year, we began funding the debt payment for that project to kind of ease into it over a couple of years. We were able to continue funding that debt reserve during 2026 and have about $500,000 a year going to the side for that project. So when that project's complete, the step into the debt payment won't be so large. Continue to monitor inflation. It didn't hit that fund as hard this year and also had good growth in the fund for revenues. And then kind of going down, those are things that we'll start to experience over the next couple of years. Pump station replacements. We have a meter replacement program that's scheduled to begin in 2 years. Need to consider some adjustments for rolling stock replacement, water plant capital maintenance programs, and then some space and proximity needs. So with the growth in that fund, we were able to hold rates level for that fund with no recommended increases to the water fund. The sewer fund, and it's kind of the same setup on the sewer fund. The top two are kind of the things we're monitoring this year. The last couple are things to be aware of as we go into next year's budget. So we have the digester cover, the heat exchanger, grit classifier, and lab upgrades project at the treatment plant. Currently pursuing insurance proceeds for the digester cover, and actually, as this slide was wrapping up from the last time, we got notification from the insurance they won't be covering it. They deemed it a maintenance, or not a maintenance, but a natural issue that caused the digester to fail. So we will be asked to cover that project, but we were successful in a loan forgiveness program through VDH that we're due to close on sometime in 2028. So we have a couple of years to step into that project, at least 2 more budget years. And we currently were able to fund a $292,000 debt reserve to start to go towards the debt payment in that project. Continue to monitor inflation. Might need to consider in future years some adjustments for inflow and infiltration reduction, space and proximity needs in terms of building and capacity in the sewer fund as well, and then considering adjustments for rolling stock and overall system capacity, making sure we're monitoring that to make sure the system can hold what's coming in. The sewer fund was kind of the same increase in growth and revenues as the water fund. We were able to recommend level rates in the sewer fund as well. One of the things as we come towards the end of the slide, or come towards the end of the presentation, that we'll work through as we start to see these projects stack up, we are going to recommend going ahead and doing a rate study and starting that to inform the 2027 and 2027 through 2030 budget, as we have all the projects that are coming forward. Want to make sure that we've got the rates where they need to be to fund all of the projects. Refuse fund update. The refuse fund ended up being the same as the other two funds. With the growth in the fund, we were able to hold it level, but we do need to continue to monitor the landfill need. As they continue to have to open new cells, we'll continue to need to fund more capital at the Augusta County Regional Landfill. Also need to perhaps consider adjustment for rolling stock in future years, continued adjustments for inflation. And then one thing that the landfill committee has talked about is adjusting the tipping fee at the landfill to help offset the fees for the phase 6 on that project. And then the last enterprise fund update is the stormwater fund update. The main thing we want to keep an eye on this is the 5-year MS4 permit cycle requirement, and that'll determine most of the direction of the program going forward. This fund did need some adjustments for inflation. We were able to hold the rate level in this fund last year, but this year it's starting to become a pinch point for the fund to make sure that we can balance it. The recommended adjustment for that was 5% and would take that rates expressed monthly, we'll take it from $484 a month to $508 per month. So the next slide is kind of the enterprise fund recommendations. So we reviewed the rates during the current year for the most immediate needs with no rate increases required except for the stormwater fee. We would recommend going ahead and engaging a consultant to perform the rate studies for future years to inform the 2027 budget and beyond for the water, sewer, and refuse. We don't have as much clarity as we'd like to start the stormwater fund rate study. We'd like to get that next permit cycle to see exactly what those projects look like. And doing 3 rate studies in 1 year is a pretty big lift for staff. So we would recommend working on the stormwater rate study during the next fiscal year. And then continue large project work for Shenandoah Village Drive, wastewater projects, and A&E for public works space needs. And as we work through the space needs, there's enough fund balance in the sewer fund to start to fund the architecture and engineering if that's the direction council wants to go. We have reimbursement resolutions adopted for the Shenandoah Village Drive and for the wastewater projects. We would probably, if we want to go ahead and fund the A&E for the space needs, would want to adopt a reimbursement resolution for those as well. So as we work through the rest of the budget, we'll work through bringing an appropriation ordinance for that project and then a reimbursement resolution so that whatever money you spend, we can get back out of the bond proceeds. And then there's just a final slide on the enterprise fund recommended rates.
So can you read those out loud? No water rate increases?
Yes, ma'am. So no water rate increases, no sewer rate increases recommended, 5% in the stormwater utility fee, and no refuse rate increases recommended.
Great. Now, are there any questions or are there any discussions among the council members?
I have one question relative to Cameron, the water fund specifically, and I recognize that staff and you all have been putting this material together for months, many, many weeks. And in light of, the project over at Shenandoah Village Drive, the water pump station that was planned to replace the existing pump station that during the tropical storm Helene in the fall of 2024 resulted in the pump station becoming inoperable for 20 hours and disrupting the city's ability to provide safe drinking water. That project we had applied for and sought after a federal grant that the Trump administration has now said was a wasteful, politicized grant program. So now that that opportunity is gone, does that change the trajectory for, obviously we'll continue to try to identify other grant opportunities, but if other grant opportunities are not identified, who's going to have to pay for the $4 million pump replacement?
So similar to the sewer fund, we've applied for, and it's VDH on the water side. I think it's Clean Water Revolving Loan Fund on the sewer side. We've applied for those funds. We have not heard back on that. It may have some principal forgiveness, similar to there's some principal forgiveness in the sewer fund, and then generally it has what you would consider a favorable interest rate, so an interest rate a little bit below market, but we've not heard back on that application. So if you end up having to go to public market for that project, it'll end up being on the city to pay full bear for that project.
Okay, just offer that up as an observation for everyone. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Cameron, and no action is requested this evening?
No, ma'am, and if there's no other questions on the enterprise fund, just a reminder, we'll have a work session next week, and probably the main focus around that one will be getting through the recommended capital improvements program, as well as alignment on the general fund.
Okay. And so we're onward to the citizen comment period?
Yes, ma'am, I believe so.
All right.
The first, so this evening, we have a group of individuals, 4 individuals from the Virginia Extension Office, John Benner, Kay Shane, I'm sorry, I'm struggling to read this handwriting. And it probably has more to do with my eyesight than your writing. Kay Shower or Shaner?
Shaner.
Okay, and then Emily Edwards and Morgan Cole.
All right. Good evening, council members. My name is John Benner, and I'm from the Augusta County Extension Office of Virginia Cooperative Extension, and I serve as the Agriculture Agent and Unit Coordinator there. Virginia Cooperative Extension helps lead the engagement mission of Virginia Tech and Virginia State University, the Commonwealth's land-grant universities. On behalf of my colleagues, Kay Shaner, Emily Edwards, and Morgan Cole, who introduce themselves in a moment, I wanted to provide an introduction to Virginia Cooperative Extension programs. So with that, I'll go ahead and introduce Kay Shaner.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Kay Shaner, and I work with Virginia Cooperative Extension, specifically with the Family Nutrition Program. And we wanted to share a little bit about what the program does for the residents of Waynesboro. We are a program who works specifically with limited resource families. So any families who are under 200% of poverty level qualify through our programs to receive education in nutrition education, gardening, cooking, and food resource management skills. I have personally been in the job for 23 years. I have worked with families in Waynesboro City preschools, Waynesboro City, all the elementary schools, and have worked with teens through Waynesboro High School. We also provide nutrition education and food resource management to clientele at the Augusta Hospital mobile free clinics while they are operating within the city. We also, through the soup kitchens and places who provide free meals, we work with those folks to try to get them stable and be able to utilize their resources a little more wisely, perhaps to stretch their food dollars so they can feed their families a little easier. The last role of my position is I am also the garden manager for the Embrace Waynesboro Community Gardens at 932 First Street. Our community gardens last year raised over 5,000 pounds of pick-your-own produce, and we had over 3,300 visits of mostly Waynesboro residents to the garden. They are free to come and go, pick their own, anytime, day or night. We have also provided a free refrigeration system there outside where we provide free produce for residents so that as they are hungry, we find lots of families coming at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So we just wanted to share and let you know that we are, even though we are in Augusta County, we are supporting the citizens of Waynesboro. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Shaner.
Thank you.
Good evening. How are y'all?
Good.
Good. My name is Emily Edwards, and I'm the 4-H Extension Agent for Augusta County. So 4-H, has anybody been involved in 4-H at all? Yes. Perfect. Well, there is a common misconception with 4-H that it is just farming and livestock. While we do have a really high quality and very active youth livestock program in Augusta County, we pride ourselves on having a diverse, well-rounded 4-H program that consists of programs that appeal to kids of many different interests and backgrounds. Within Augusta County, and when I say Augusta County, I mean our programs are open to Waynesboro kids and Stanton kids as well. We have 11 clubs, and those focus on anything from computer coding, of course our livestock and horses, but also archery and teen leadership, and those engage kids that are ages 5 to 18. We have 9 competition teams. We have our livestock knowledge teams. Just about every year, one of those wins the state contest and earns the right to go out to the national contest. Last year, we had a 3rd place national team from Augusta County. This year, hopefully, we'll have a state or a national winning meats judging team coached by Mr. John Benner that is going out to the national contest this fall.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
I'm sorry, the red light is blinking.
Oh.
Are we? Oh, they reset it? Okay, because it's like, because I thought they did. Oh, I thought they did, because it went off, but I was like, okay, but it was like, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
We also have a Lego robotics team, a poultry judging team, archery, and cattle working team. We have a growing in-school program that provides hands-on lessons to students free of charge that correlate with their classroom curriculum and align with Virginia SOLs. And Morgan will share a little bit more about what that has looked like within the city of Waynesboro for the past year, 2 years, 3 years. We also engage adult volunteers, so those have contributed. We have about 50 who lead clubs, coach teams, attend camp, and they contributed approximately 6,000 hours in 2024. We go to a week-long residential camp every summer. About a quarter of those counselors and kids that go are from the city of Waynesboro. We take about 100 total. We have short-term programs, like a robotics, food challenge, STEM club. We have a variety of workshops that go on throughout the year. We play a key role in our Augusta County Market Animal Show and Sale, which incorporates 143 exhibitors. They show about 400 head of animals, and that's about a $500,000 sale. We also have international opportunities. We have had several families host delegates from Japan through the 4-H Foreign Exchange Program, and recently we have begun to go on the Virginia 4-H Dominican Republic service trip. We have taken 2 kids total from Augusta County so far. We just started being able to go last year. We have 1 going this year, and we're looking forward to many more years of that.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Morgan Cole. I'm the 4-H program educator. So I work to support all the 4-H things that Emily just talked about. But I'm going to share just a little bit about what we've been doing specifically in schools here in Waynesboro recently. We have been working very heavily with the William Perry second graders. That's about 84 students. So we've gone in on multiple days. We've done butter making with them. We have looked at vermicomposting. So we brought worms in. They got to see those, how they work to digest the food and help make the soil healthier. We've done other environmental science workshops. We've done a Goods from the Woods lesson where we look at trees and all the products that we get from trees. We've done stomp rockets where they get to engineer their own rocket and kind of work through what that looks like and how to protect something that they put inside their rock and keep it safe. And we're also working through embryology with them, where we take eggs in and they get an incubator in their classroom, get to hatch out those eggs and have the chicks for about a week or so in the classroom with them. So those are some of the things we've been doing with the William Perry second graders. We've also done butter making at Westwood in the past year, and we've been working with Winona during their Genius Hour to go in and do programs for those students. We've done different STEM challenges. We've done a Mars base camp. 2 weeks ago we went in and did cooking with them, so we taught them some healthy recipes they could take home to their families, kind of all the different ingredients and the different things that they should try to have on their plate every single day. One of the William Perry teachers that we work with said, "The Augusta County 4-H has been providing wonderful in-school field trips to us several times, and each time they are wonderful. They do a great job with presenting the information and providing hands-on opportunities with each presentation. Every presenter has been professional, prepared, and great to work with." So we also have worked with the Family Food and Fun at Winona and William Perry as well. And like Emily said, about a quarter of our counselors and campers every single year are Waynesboro residents. So that's just a few of the things we've been doing here recently, but we're happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody have any questions? Oh, that's right. Any more?
Right. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all so much.
Was he set back up to finish?
Archie Bryant.
Mr. Bryant?
Thank y'all.
Is he good?
Okay, okay. Hi, Mr. Bryant.
Hello again.
Yes.
Name Archie Bryant, 263 Elizabeth Avenue. I didn't sign up for this. I meant signed up on the wrong page, but I got something to say again anyway. With the increase of our city's population, and that brings revenue, it brings crime. And I heard the 911 fellow that you gave the award to say that, I forgot how many said 911 calls that Waynesboro had answered, but personally, I think our police force is a little slack. Nothing to them, but I don't think they have the manpower to cover this area with the increase in the population that we've had over the past 10, 15 years. I know personally one of the police officers, he's a friend of ours, and I speak with him quite regular, and he says that they're stretched pretty thin sometimes when you got so many things going on. So is there any way that something can be done to increase our manpower for our police force? These guys are out there, they're up against it, and they got a lot of city to cover with only, I don't know how many guys, was it one officer per 5,000 citizens or something? I don't know, but it seems like they're stretched pretty thin. I'd just like to see that increase too. If we're gonna pay more taxes, I'd like to see it go into that area as well. So just my opinion, not count for much, but thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. It counts. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to struggle with this name. Charles Brothamp, or Broth? Charles.
Charles?
Okay, he lived at 211 Lynn Lane.
He may have left.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Tom Benzing.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Tom Benzing. I'm a resident of Augusta County, but I spend a lot of time in Waynesboro, and that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. I've lived in the area for 25 years, and I enjoy outdoor activities, including fishing and hiking. Tonight, I'd like to publicly commend the Waynesboro Parks and Recreation Department for their work in creating opportunities for this community to enjoy the outdoors. We live in an area with lots of natural beauty. Today was a great example. The Blue Ridge, the Shenandoah Valley, the streams and rivers that flow to and through the city. I count 7 parks in the city, and the fact that they're spread around makes it possible for everyone to enjoy them. And I'm partial to the ones with river frontage. As I mentioned, I'm a fisherman. North Park, Constitution Park, and Ridgeview Park. I'm also a regular on the Greenway and the South River Preserve. And I believe these parks, not only in bringing myself to Waynesboro to spend my money, but bring lots of visitors from out of town to spend money. And I think maybe sometimes we forget that tourism brings a lot to our area. These visitors spend their money on restaurants, stays in hotels, and souvenirs, both real and experiential. And I've seen a lot of growth in visitation among anglers to the South River, for example, and to families that come to Constitution Park to celebrate our Riverfest, which will be happening here in just a few weeks. It annually brings a couple thousand people to the river. And the great thing about these dollars coming to the city from tourism is they don't come with that attachment for services. You don't have to provide schools or sanitation for tourists. And so I just want to commend, again, the Parks and Recreation Department. I believe that Waynesboro is a destination city for people like myself who see value in outdoor experience and exploration. And thank you for your service and letting me share my thoughts with you this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That's it.
That's it? Okay. Hold up.
There's a paper there that says continue. I signed it. Oh, Lord. My name's
Thank you,
Andrea
Andrea.
Jackson, Ward A. So I didn't get here for the tax thing or whatever, but I'm going to say my little piece. So I came in at the tail end, and everybody was like, oh, woe is me, my taxes is going to increase, and that's the same old thing year after year that I hear. But I've been born and raised here. I moved away. I came back from college in 2010, and I decided to get civically involved, and I've been coming to city council meetings since then. In about 2020, I've been really involved in coming to, I remember being on the Zoom and seeing the budget meetings and coming to the budget meetings ever since, you know what I mean, the sessions or the retreats or whatever. And I don't think that we as citizens know the integral details and how hard it is to actually govern. I think that even probably the city councilmen don't know. They kind of run on maybe their ideologies or what they think it is to like govern, but once you actually get into the seat, you actually have to govern and run a budget, and actually as the city and the state, you have to have a balanced budget. And so therefore, like the man says, there's police that you can't have it both ways. You can't cut your taxes and then say, and I've seen it every 2 years, and then say I want police. You know what I mean? Like, who gonna pay the policeman? And then it's just sort of like now in the tumultuous like atmosphere that we have, this is a city that loves to like ask for grants. You know what I'm saying? As long as we not paying it for ourselves, we love someone else to give us money to pay for it. That's not going to be happening now. So we going to have to pay for it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And the issue is that we do need policemen. We do need sheriffs. We do need firemen. We do need maybe like maybe a register. And it's funny that maybe some of the people who are saying that that's a waste of register, I'm not even going to go there. May or may not be like, well, our elections, you know what I'm saying, like, careful or not, like, or the integrity of them, which is in like Waynesboro have the utmost, you know what I mean, integrity, and you know what I'm saying, are careful. And so like in order to keep that integrity, we have to keep investing in our infrastructure and making sure, and like the issue is that because we had low taxes for so long, we're kind of like making up for the years that we didn't invest in the city. And so therefore it's sort of like a lot of the people, like I get what you're saying. You don't like what's being, done with the city. That's why if you don't like it, come. Sometimes I don't see none of y'all here except for when it's tax time. Come and be like, okay, if you don't like what's going on, come at a regular time. You know what I'm saying? And so the issue is it's not raising the taxes, it's adjusting it, because they never should have been lowered to that low of a rate before, because back then that was an average. You know what I'm saying?
Andrea, the red light has flashed. Thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can discuss that all day long. I got all the time after this. And it's not an open, it's a balance.
Okay, communication correspondence calendar, please. All right. And so, I'd like to make a motion.
I will make that motion to adjourn.
Okay. And
I'll second.
And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. There's 4-0 motion. Okay.
Good job.